Good evening, I'm Dan Klein. Thanks for tuning in on this New Year's Eve. A deal has been reached, but the country is still headed over the fiscal cliff, at least temporarily. The Senate and White House finally hammered out remaining issues on spending, but the House has no plans to vote tonight. Randall Pinkston has more from Washington.
Senate Republicans met with Minority Leader Mitch McConnell to learn more about the tentative fiscal cliff compromise reached with Vice President Joe Biden. The Vice President briefed Democrats at their caucus meeting.
I can report that we've reached an agreement on all of the tax issues.
It extends the Bush-era tax cuts permanently for all individuals making as much as $400,000 a year and $450,000 a year for families. It would also increase the taxes on estates worth more than $5 million and extend unemployment benefits for 1 year.
I don't love it, but I think it is a very good job of negotiating where there are some wins and some losses.
Earlier, President Obama chided for letting the clock tick.
One thing we can count on with respect to this Congress is that if there's even 1 second left before you have to do what you're supposed to do, they will use that last second.
The last-second haggling was over spending. The impasse frustrated both sides, and some lawmakers were angered about the suggestion to deal with cuts later.
This is the mini cliff. The big cliff still lies in front of us. The big cliff, all the spending cuts.
House members left earlier Monday evening. They are due back at noon Tuesday and will get the fiscal cliff compromise bill once the Senate passes it. Randall Pinkston, CBS News, Washington.
House Republican Todd Rokita spoke with News 18 over the phone this afternoon. He says he does not have a line in the sand for income levels for tax cuts, whether $400,000 or any other number. He said what he's more interested in seeing is the things that are attached to that number, whether it's an extension of unemployment benefits or fixing Medicare payments for doctors. He says the number of House Republican votes will depend on those numbers. And even with tonight's proposed agreement, he adds it doesn't really solve what he calls the real fiscal cliff, the impending financial issues with programs like Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. But he's hopeful recent financial impasses over temporary fixes have made everyone realize that a permanent fix is needed.
The more we have this discussion and the more times we have this discussion, I think the more America wakes up and says, look, we're not going to do this to our children and grandchildren anymore. And I've seen the momentum gain, over the 2 years that I've been in Congress.
Again, the House is due back at noon tomorrow, and we'll get the bill once the Senate passes it.